A number of years ago, I had some friends that told me that they made a special deal with God. That if God would help them win the lottery, they would give God 10% of all of their earnings, a whole tithe they give to God. And my first thought, although I didn't say this out loud, but my first thought was, boy, if God had a dime for every time he heard that prayer. And my second thought is, I know how to pray. What's to keep me from outbidding them and saying, God, let me win the lottery and I'll give you 20%? Or somebody outbidding me and saying, I'll give you 30%. Well, religion has been used probably forever to try to make people wealthier and more prosperous. There was the prayer of Jabez that says, Lord, please enlarge my territory. There are those that say that if you give to the church, if you give to God, God will outgive and give to you more times over than what you gave to him. And I'm not going to really talk about that sort of thing today, but when I come back, I want to address, have you ever heard of someone that prayed, God, don't make me prosperous? God, don't let me get rich? God, don't let me succeed in everything. Well, we're going to look at that, but first, let's take a short clip of the nightlife of rural West Central Illinois. For the past several weeks, I've been pulling these midweek devotions out of the book of Proverbs. It's one of my favorite books. And I've just enjoyed. I think I could go the rest of my life every Wednesday doing a short devotion out of Proverbs, and it would still be profitable, and I still wouldn't be double dipping on the verses. But that time's about up. It's about time for me to switch to some other things. I've had some requests for something else in particular that connects with our soon-to-be Tuesday night studies. But I still have this week and next week. So let me go back into the book of Proverbs and listen to this prayer. It's not the prayer you usually hear. There are two things, Lord, I want you to do for me before I die. Make me absolutely honest, and don't let me be too rich or too poor, or too poor or too rich. Give me just what I need. If I have too much to eat, I might forget about you. If I don't have enough, I might steal and disgrace your name. Well, the person offering this prayer knows himself or knows herself. This is a person that understands where their temptations are, and they say, Lord, don't make me too rich. Now, there are a lot of people that have fallen to the temptation of wealth. We tend to think sometimes if things go too well for us and we do too well that we are self-made people and that we did this by ourselves and we don't need any help and we don't need God. We become powerful, sometimes arrogant, self-contained, hard to get along with. This person's saying, God, don't let that happen to me. The other extreme of this prayer is, God, don't let me be too poor. Don't let me be malnourished. Don't let me be hungry. Just give me what I need. Because sometimes people that don't have money are just as fixated on money as people that are wealthy, and just as greedy for money. And rather than thinking, I get it, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, they might go the other extreme and think, you owe me, you owe me, you owe me, and you owe that to me, you owe that to me, and disgrace God. They can go both ways. This prayer said, God, I know myself, I know my dangers, guard me from those extremes. It would be a mistake to look at this passage of Scripture and say, oh, here's a person that is afraid of success. They will keep themselves from ever accomplishing anything great because they're just afraid of success. They're afraid that it's going to go to their head. They're not prepared. They're not equipped to handle it. This is a prayer of mediocrity. I think that would be a big mistake. There is no mediocrity in this passage of Scripture. This person wants to succeed. This person wants to hit the top. This person doesn't want to be encumbered by a lot of things to drag them down. This is not a person that is looking for the easy way out, and it's not a person that's just settling for middle of the road. It's a person that is swinging for the home run. It's just that they're swinging for a different fence than most of us swing for. They're not impressed by wealth. They're not impressed by power. They're not impressed by all sorts of grand things and prosperity. They are impressed by godliness. This person's prayer and this person's dream is that God would make this person honest, and that God would give this person a life where honesty is a virtue because there is nothing to hide. A life where this person does not get entangled by all of the glitzy stuff and the gold and the gusto and all the glory in life. But this person is enraptured with the presence of God and is just honest about it. Not puffed up and not down, just honest about who they are, and they want to swing for the fence and go for the gold, just a different kind of gold. That's admirable. I remember once, according to history, they say that D.L. Moody once said that the world has yet to see what God can do through a person who is totally committed to Him. And by the grace of God, I will be that person. I may have that quote a little bit off, but something like that. And D.L. Moody changed the world with his Sunday schools and revivals and evangelism. And that would be the kind of prayer this is. What a treat. Right as I'm doing this video, my Aunt Veda and her family just came right on past and said hi. So this is a shout out to you, Aunt Veda. If you are watching it, I've just been talking with you. Hope you have a good week. And there she goes. Frankly, I think the author of this prayer is swinging for a harder home run than if this person had been swinging for prosperity. That is, to live a life of honesty and a life that glorifies God with nothing really to hide and that doesn't embarrass God and dishonor God's name. Well, I doubt that I'll ever make that. Maybe a few minutes at a time. But that's a worthwhile prayer. Well, how about you? This is Wednesday. I always say that we have a few days left this week. Let's try today not to go clear till Sunday, just in case that's too much to bite off. You know, sometimes when a student writes a paper. They try to write a 3-page paper on war and peace. It's just more than they can bite off. So let's bite off a little nugget. How about a nugget? How about if we try to go 24 hours, God being our helper, and live a life of honesty that does not dishonor God? Think you can do it? Set the bar up here. This person's bar was, God, let me live my life that way. My God, my bar is 24 hours. May God bless you and give you strength to live for Him. Let me make one more little announcement. Like last week, I announced that we're about to have a small cell group on critical thinking for Christians. That's going to start in a couple of weeks on Tuesday, July the 12th at 6:30 at the Littleton United Methodist Church. Now, let me say that some of you I know have laptops that you take with you lots of places. Some of you do not. If you have a laptop, if it's easy to carry around, you have it in a case and all of that, bring it with you. If you do not have a laptop, don't worry about it. It's not necessary. But we're probably going to get into some small groups during part of these sessions, jump on the internet, and find examples of the different things we're talking about. And so if we have one, that's fine. I'll be there. If we have two, that's twice as good. 3 is 3 times as good. So if you have a laptop that 2 or 3 of us could join with you, then bring it with you on that Tuesday night.